Okay, boys and girls, we are going to do a relating multiplication to division. It's the inverse operation. That's what it's called. Using the same number, multiplying and division are opposite. You just watched a video about how adding and subtracting are opposites or inverse operations. Now we're going to use multiplying and dividing. So let's first look at the wording that you're going to hear. A dividend is the amount that you have, and these are words you hear with a division problem. Divisor is the amount of the group you are breaking the dividend into. The quotient is the value or the answer to a division problem. So the dividend right here is 500 because that's what we have. We are dividing it into 10 equal groups, so that's our divisor. And when we got our answer, that would be the quotient. Alright, so the first thing I would like you to do is get out your journal and go to the place where it says inverse operation. So I have mine here, it says inverse operation. So I'm just putting down some examples. If I have 4 times 8 equals 24. The inverse operation would be 24 divided by 8 equals 3, or 24 divided by 3 equals 8. Here it would be 8. So if I know my times, my division will come easier. If I'm struggling with my division, I can do go back to what I already know, my times. 6 plus 10 equals 16. The inverse operation is 16 minus 10 equals 6, or 16 minus 6 equals 10. I want you to add a multiplication and division inverse operation and an adding and subtracting inverse operation to your journal. Okay, we are skipping the very first page, and I want you to turn to page 50 in your workbook. And as you're looking here, it's another strategy. So we're going to divide 52 divided by 4. I don't know what that is, so I can use the distributive property and the area model to solve this. So my first step is to I want to flip to my board. The first step I would do is write my division problem. 52 divided by 4 equals, I don't know. So the inverse operation, and here's what it looks like. The inverse operation would be, I would put my divisor 4 times, because that's the opposite of dividing, times, I don't know, my quotient's going to be in there, and then my product. So if I'm going to write this as an array, 4 times what equals 52? Well, that's pretty hard to do, so now I'm going to break it up and use the distributive property, and I'm going to say 4 times, I'm going to use 10, because 10 is an easy number, equals 40. So 4 times 10, and I'm not done yet, so I know that equals 40. I have to get 52. So if I subtract what I already used, I use 40 now, I'm going to subtract that from 52, I have 12 left. I'm going to put 12 here. So 4 times what equals 12? And I know 4 times 3 equals 12. So I'm going to put my 3 here. So I can either add these two together, because that's how I got my answer, or I can add over here with my distributive outlined. Now, if we were going to write this as a distributive property, we would have wrote 4 times 10 plus 4 times 3, and here would have been 40, here would have been 12, and I would have got my 52. So if we go back to this page, 4 times 10, we put that up here, and 4 times 3 equals So my final step is 10 plus 3 equals 13. So I can now go back in and fill 4 times 13 right up here. And 52 divided by 4 equals 13. Alright, let's move on. So when we move on, we can try doing the array, or we can do the distributive property. Do whatever you're comfortable with, but you're going to still be using the inverse operation, and I want you to show your work. So the problem we're working with, as it says up here, 72 divided by 4. I don't know that, so I want to do the inverse operation. So I'm going to flip back to here. So remember, I put 4 times I don't know equals 72. Here's where the 4 came from. Here's where the I don't know came from. And the 72 came from there. So I could set it up 4 times I don't know plus 4 times I don't know equals 72. That's that distributive property that we keep talking about. If I'm going to do the array, I could do 4 times what equals 72. And I usually always start with the 10. 4 times 10 equals 40. And so if I got 40, what do I have left? I have 32. So 4 times what equals 32? 8. If I add those together, I get 72. My last step is 10 plus 8, because that's what I used. I want to show you when I'm dividing a little. So if I'm going to do this, and I'm making my array, and I have 72 over here, and I'm not sure what I should put in here if 10 doesn't seem like it's going to take forever. So it's what my trick is I always cover up the ones digit, and I ask myself, 4 times what will get me close to 7? Well, I know 4 times 2 would be 8, which is too much. We can't go over. But 4 times 1 equals closest I can get to 7. Then I still have that 1 in the ones place, and I'm doing my easy, so now I do 4 times 10 equals 40. Then I know I have 32 left, and then I have 4 times 8, 4 times 8 equals 32. So right now that probably doesn't make sense, but if I would do a number like, let's pick 82 divided by 4. Okay, if I was going to do what my little trick was, 4 times I don't know to start with equals 82. If I cover up my 2, I ask myself, 4 goes into 8 how many times? Well, it goes in there 2 times. Then I put my 0 there. That will get me there a whole lot faster than if I just do 4 times 10, 4 times 10, 4 times 0, 40 with a remainder of 2, because I can't do that evenly when I just picked one. So let's go back to our worksheet. So if we did this, you would see that I want to use this as my array. If I did this, this would be 4. And if I split it, I could do 20. 4 times 20 equals 80. And then I had, oh, sorry, wrong problem. Trying to get to 72. 4 times 10 equals 40. And I have 32 left over. 4 times 8 plus those together, and my answer is 18. And if we look, that works. All right, I would like you to do number 3 and number 4 with your partner. Once you're done doing those, check your answers. You have to show your work. All right. I would like you to do, as it says here, I would like you to do page or numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 together, please. Then you may skip this page. If you have time, I would like you to come back and do it together as partners. It's going deeper. Then you may do your homework, which is page 53. Page 53, 2, 5, 8, and 9, and those I'd like alone. And show your work, please. And page 54, all of it. You should be able to get that done today. If you are struggling still after working with your partner on these, then I want you to call me over there and we'll work them together. Use those 2 strategies, whether it be the distributive strategy or using the array. Both ways work good for helping you out on the inverse operation.